the ways we could make some of the tech challenges work better and be less frustrating for people. And so this is just an exploratory meeting that we're going to do. And Harry's helped a lot of people with different tech problems. And we know he's persistent because he got on today after having problems. And Ed and I have helped a few people, but we've learned a lot on our own. And we've learned a lot just from meeting to plan these sessions. So our goal today is to see what kinds of common problems might come up, and also to see, so that we could figure out ways to address them, also to see what devices different people are using, because that might make a difference in how we approach things. So, and before we stop today, we've got two resources. I'm just going to show you what they look like, so you'll know what you're going to be getting in the mail after we, let me show you this. This is called Tech Resources, and it is, it's just a list of technology places you can go if you need help in town and a little about them. And then online and YouTube resources.
Not showing here.
It's not showing.
I don't see it.
Can
I
you
don't
see it?
No,
Who
I
can
don't
see it? Raise your hand if you can see it. Can you see it?
See a white box.
White
Yeah.
box.
That's what I see.
Do you see it?
Show
Okay.
that.
There's also a 19-page glossary of terms that you get a link to. We're not sending you 19 pages, we're sending you a link to it. And then can you see, whoops, no, that's
Oh,
not.
yes, now we can see
There's
something.
something there.
Okay,
Okay.
now let me show you one other thing. Look at this. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I keep doing the wrong one. Well, this is the resources 2-pager.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stop sharing, and this time I'm going to show you a better one. This is a few basics, something that Harry put together with terminology. What's a desktop? What are
Oh, that's good.
essential? What's a browser? What's a keyboard? What are the different parts? So we're going to send these to you. Chrissy's going to send these to you after the end, so you'll have them before the next time, and you can ask questions.
Good.
Okay, so now I'm turning it over to Ed, and he's going to do the questions. But Chrissy, say a little word about recording.
So we are recording so we can go back after and see if we missed anything.
Yeah.
So it's not for our website necessarily, like we do our Zoom presentations. So,
Just-
so we're
Right.
recording.
Okay,
FYI, it was in the email. I'll be sending a feedback survey email afterwards. So you'll see an email too coming your way after
and
our
you'll also get those handouts from Chrissy.
and handout. Yep.
Okay, Ed, it's all yours.
Okay. Okay, well, my part of this is basically to ask a series of questions. And these questions are designed to kind of start a discussion amongst you all. Because what we need to do is we need to get some information from each of you in response to these questions, so we can have it'll give us some direction in terms of how we want to construct or organize this class. And so these are very basic questions, and as we go through these, I mean, feel free to jump right in and say what you think. Number one, would a series of Zoom sessions like we're doing right now, offering tips about computer technology, be helpful? So in other words, is this a good idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I used my thumb on the chat.
Okay,
Okay,
Right.
so
good. So we have a positive response there. Okay, now this question's a little broader. What sorts of computer technology information would be helpful? Try to be specific. So this is going to, in other words, I'm asking you, you know, what would you like to see this class talk about? So, and feel free to, whoever wants to talk, just jump right in and respond to that.
Well, I'm kind of bad at managing the iCloud.
Good one.
Yeah,
Pictures.
all right.
Okay, iCloud.
Me
Okay,
too.
okay.
I know how to email, but I'm afraid to leave it because I'm afraid I'll get lost out there and can't get back.
Okay, so you need to be able to get in and out of email. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay, in and out of email. Okay. Does
Okay.
anybody else have that issue? Every now and then something goes full screen and I can't find anything else, and I can't get out of full screen. So one thing that maybe we could talk about is, I know that Harry thinks undo what you just did is a really important thing, but I don't think undo always works for me. So I want to explore undo at some point. How you undo what you just did, so that if you make a mistake, you can get back where you were.
Okay.
In the back, the equivalent of that in the browser is the back button. But yeah, not every app has an undo available to you.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so we have iCloud is a area of concern, and email is an area of concern. Okay, how about some others?
Well,
I just learned that there is a right click and a left click. What is the difference between them? When do you use which? That is very basic, I'm sure, but I don't know that. I've never heard of it until just recently.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
That's a
Good.
big one.
Good to know, for sure.
I'm kind of thinking maybe we've taken these questions in a funny order, because number 4 down there is talking about what kind of devices you use. And so something like the question Delma just asked, has to do with having a laptop, which I suppose I might buy one again in the near future, but not that terribly likely. I'm mostly using an iPad and a cell phone.
Okay,
And so those questions are different for different people. Like Susie's comment about imagining the iCloud, that's so far away from what I can do, it's not even imaginable. And I'm not even sure I need to if I'm just doing an iPad. But I almost need to listen to other people's questions to find out if it's something I want to learn how to do. The things I do right now, I'm not even sure all of you would consider this tech. But I use my cell phone the most, and then my iPad, and I don't even know how to post something on Facebook. And I went to a meeting with cousins, and everybody was supposed to post information. I said, well, when the past clears and my son comes over, I'll find out how to do that. But, I would really like to be able to post things on Facebook. Every time I've tried it, it's gone to the wrong place. And
Okay.
also, I know you're going to send a lot of vocabulary words, but I really don't know what the word streaming means. And I don't know what devices it involves, and whether that's something whether I want to get or not get. I have no idea. And I realize I'm sort of taking the topic into the area of more the entertainment value of things as opposed to actually using a computer. But it's something that's actually pretty significant to me. I don't know what kind of technology to get in my house to do what I want to do.
Okay.
Then it's significant to us.
Okay.
Yeah, because technology, let's face it, it's a growing presence in every household. And how to use that technology is really pretty darn important, so, because if you don't know how to use it, you feel isolated, right?
Well, yeah, really good. I watch Stephen Colbert, and I hear things from actresses and actors about movies they're in, and they say it's on this or that or the other.
Yeah.
And I don't see those. I'm
How do you-
willing to pay for it if I can figure out which one would be the most appropriate and how to use it. But
Okay.
I'm not gonna pay for it till I know how to use it.
Yeah, no, I
Great.
think that's a good point. Sure. Okay,
Betty Ann's got one
Okay,
or
just,
more.
this is just stupid, but I don't really know what a browser is. And when I'm online, sometimes getting tech help and they say, what browser are you using? I don't know.
okay.
Okay, you'll be
And
getting
I-
that information in the handout, but you're
Okay.
not the only one who doesn't know.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's great. These are exactly the kinds of questions we want to hear, because this is where we need to find answers. So,
And
All
to use enough so you'll remember, because I'm pretty sure my son told me what a browser is, but I really don't remember.
Me too.
well, I'm sure Harry will have a response for that as when we get to that point. But right now, let's stick with identifying these issues, because that's going to provide some direction.
Okay, I want to ask about Facebook. I avoid it with a passion, but I'd like to know how to get to it.
Yeah, okay, so that's two people that want to know about Facebook. So, yeah,
Ed, do you think we should find out more about the different kinds of devices people are using so that we know how much commonality there is?
yeah, well, we're going to get to that question. We can jump
Okay.
to it now if you want. So,
Well, we heard from Kathy about
well,
that.
all right, why don't we just go
She's-
ahead and go to number 4, which is, what computer devices do you use the most? And that could be a regular tabletop sort of computer. It could be a laptop. It could be a cell phone. It could be a tablet like an iPad, like Kathy has. It could be a smart TV streaming device, which is what she also referred to. And there are others out there too, as well. So, why don't we see if we can identify some of these devices that folks have, and why don't we kind of start, rather than people just jumping in? Why don't I just kind of
Yeah.
why don't we start with Kathy? Kathy, why don't you? Okay, you said you use a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
iPad.
So do you want people to just raise their hand if they use the same stuff and just count it on the screen? You don't have any more than 9 people here.
Well, we could do that.
No.
How
Make
many-
a list.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
how many?
Well,
Don't
No,
So
make
we
it
didn't know
easy.
what cell phone.
so how many people
Samsung or Apple?
send text messages on?
What's that now? For
How
cell
many
phone?
people have a cell
Cell
phone that's
phone.
capable of doing text messages?
Well, no, wait, is that a cell phone? Now we need to know how many have iPhones and how many have Androids, okay? How many have iPhones? So we've got Ed, we've got Rex, we've got Chrissy, we've got Harry, we've got
Betty Ann.
Eddie Ann.
we've got Betty Ann,
I
Ed,
have
Rex,
one, but I
Chrissy,
don't-
Harry, Betty Ann. Is that everybody? Oh,
I
and
have
Susie,
one, but
Susie,
I don't
sorry.
use it.
Oh,
Okay, and we have maybe Delma.
And yours is the
Okay.
iPhone?
Mhm.
Yeah. How about
Yeah, and now who has an
I
Android?
guess I'm
So
the only
Kathy,
one
are you
with
the
an
only one with?
Android.
what kind do you have, Kathy?
Okay, but that's
Is it
all
a
right.
What?
Samsung, or what kind of Android
Is it
phone do
Sam-
you have?
I got it out so I can tell
An
you.
LG, I can see the box.
Yeah, it's an LG. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Is it a Samsung brand?
No,
no,
LG.
name of the brand is LG.
Oh, it's LG.
I think
Okay.
it stands for, is it? I know
Life
on
is
my
good.
dryer, that means life is good or something like that. The dryer they sold me under that name isn't good, but that's the company.
Okay.
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 All right. So it sounds like most people have iPhones, and then a smaller number have Androids. So, okay.
I think I'm the only one here.
It's okay. You're
So
not the only one in the village, so
how-
don't worry about it.
Okay.
How about a regular like tabletop computer? How many people use a regular tabletop computer?
Would a laptop qualify for that?
Well, I was
No.
going to go to that.
Category.
I was sort of putting that in a separate category, but they're certainly close. I mean,
Right.
I guess
Let's,
I-
personally,
I have a big computer with an Apple on it.
okay.
She's
so
got
you
an
have-
iMac. She's got
you
a
have-
Yeah, desktop.
desktop iMac is Delma, okay?
Okay,
I've got a desktop. Are we
Okay,
the only
Harry-
ones with, are we the only ones with desktops?
I do at work, but
Okay,
Oh, wow.
so
how many have laptops?
Oh, here we go. Okay.
okay, so some maybe are Macs and some are maybe PCs. How many have Macs?
mine is dead, but I have a Mac.
Okay, so that's Ed
Dead
and
apple.
Betty Ann and who else I missed? Oh, Ed, I'm sorry, Ed and Betty Ann and ML and Harry. Do you have that, Harry, too, or not?
Yeah.
Harry has everything.
Yeah.
Okay, those are Macs.
2 or
And who
3.
has a PC?
Yeah, who has PCs? Okay. Rex?
Okay, Rex has a PC, and Harry, you do too, right? And so
Couple.
does Chrissy. Rex,
For work, yeah.
Chrissy, and Susie. No, I'm sorry. Rex, Chrissy, and Harry.
What does
Okay,
What does Betty Ann have? What do you?
she's
you have-
got a Mac.
MacBook Air.
You have a Mac, oh, MacBook, okay. And Kathy, what do you have? Do you have a laptop or,
No, I
She's
had
iPad.
the information off and we threw it in the dump out in Terrace Heights, so no.
oh, so
She's
you
got-
just use a cell phone? Is that what you use?
And an
I just
iPad,
want
and an iPad.
I have an
iPad.
iPad.
Oh,
Save
the
that.
iPad, right, okay, yeah, iPad.
So how
Okay,
many other people have iPads?
Mike Schott has an iPad.
Okay, Mike, and
No.
a lot of people do. Mike and Susie. Do you guys do Zoom on iPads or Rex?
Yeah.
You do that? Okay, Rex,
I
Yeah.
use my iPad, my cell phone.
Mike, Kathy, and Chrissy.
Not me, it's the same
Oh, it's
iPad for Mike.
Mike, Susie, Rex, Kathy. Did I miss anybody on iPads? Okay. That's quite a few. Well,
That's
okay.
As you can see, we're going to need to identify what device you're using to answer the question properly. So, you know, that's the reason for this.
yeah,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, how many people deal with like a smart TV streaming device like Kathy was talking about?
I'm going to have one and hopefully installed on Thursday.
Okay,
Ooh.
okay. What, do
We
you know
had-
what kind, Rex? What brand?
Samsung.
Rex.
Samsung, okay.
Samsung. I've got a Samsung. Okay, Rex, smart TVs, Rex and Chrissy.
I have Samsung and Fire TV.
Do you have a Fire Stick, you mean?
Yeah,
Fire Stick? Yeah, that's what I have, a Fire Stick.
I have
like
a,
this,
I
yeah.
have a
Okay.
Roku.
I'd like
Okay,
to learn
Ed
more about
has,
Roku. I don't understand what that is.
well, just hold
It's
on,
Coolest.
hold on, everybody.
Okay,
Yeah,
now
it's kind of like Apple TV, only it's a Roku. It's just a different brand.
Oh,
Betty Ann, you've got a smart
Oh, we
TV.
can't understand it.
Okay. It's smarter than you are. That's a problem.
You know what
That's the
kind,
trouble
Betty
with
Ann?
smart
You know what
TVs.
kind?
Samsung.
Oh, it's Samsung,
Samsung.
okay. Okay, well,
Okay, see,
because, I
Mike thought
mean,
that was funny.
these streaming movies and TV shows is becoming kind of the
Yes.
big deal. I mean,
And we don't know how to do that, so we need help.
yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
everybody-
So far, and that's what Kathy might want to do if she
Well,
figures it out.
so I need to even interject a little bit because you can also stream on an iPad if you want to watch a movie on iPad, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
that's
Yes, you
I
can.
can actually learn how to do without the 2 months of work that's necessary to clean out my TV room of books. So I can put a smart TV on my wall. That's a long project
Okay,
and something.
okay. Okay, did I get everybody who has a smart TV? Rex has a Samsung, Chrissy, Ed, Betty Ann, Mary Lou, and Harry, you've got
a
one.
new Roku.
And-
I'm learning a Fire Stick right now as we speak.
And Susie,
I have a Fire Stick, and do you have a Roku also? Did you say, Harry?
Yes, I got a Roku that I'm familiar with and a Fire Stick I'm learning.
I had a Roku
Okay.
back in 2009.
But Susan said,
Well,
Okay, well, that sounds like everybody is
that's
doing
not-
streaming.
I think
Okay, that's pretty
that's
amazing.
definitely, I think, an area where we probably need to
Yeah.
have a lesson,
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
everybody.
Deborah, have
that's-
you ever watched a movie on your laptop?
I don't like
Yeah.
to watch movies on my laptop myself.
And is that considered streaming as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
it
it's
is.
that Delma has done it even though it's on a laptop.
Yeah. So
Yep.
basically
Yeah.
what you do is you go to some place like, it'll say Hulu, Hulu or even PBS, PBS.
has an
Uh,
app.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can, and basically you subscribe to that service, and then you have a password and so forth.
Yeah.
So all you have to
Yeah.
do to access
wanna-
it.
Right now, I do not I'm sure my phone is picking up apps all the time when I ask it to do things, but to my knowledge, I have enrolled in 0 apps. And I don't know which one to enroll in because I don't know which one's going to do me the most good to be able to get the movies I want. So it's
Yeah,
a real
that's
ignorant.
yeah, Harry can probably, correct me on this, but I think that area, the whole streaming thing is just developing like crazy right now. I mean, it's just getting very, very, that's the way people are accessing movies and TV shows these days. So, yeah.
Right.
When I got my Fire Stick, my friend in Seattle got on FaceTime and showed me how to set it up from Seattle. So maybe we
Oh,
can talk into coming on our
Yeah.
Zoom talk.
Who
Yeah.
make,
And
Good.
the way mine worked is I just had to stand next to my TV and it picked up all the information it needed from my phone. How's that?
Oh,
Pretty
Mr.
clever.
Scary.
That is
Uh,
very scary.
Who
On
makes,
The other
Prime can stream.
technology I have is Alexa,
Yes, Alexa.
and she did
oh,
not because I said her name.
oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm surprised she didn't say anything. She usually butts in and starts asking me what I want if I even use her in a telephone conversation.
Yeah, that's another kind of technology. I don't know if
Yeah.
we're going to get into that or not.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
let's put that at the bottom of the list.
My son-in-law installed it, and if it were to break, it would sit there till he came back to fix it. It's not something
Oh,
that,
Okay.
right. Okay, all right, I'm going to back up just a little bit here. Okay, I wanted to ask, how frequently would people want to attend a class like this? We could do it weekly, we could do it bi-weekly, we could do it, every once a month or every 3 weeks, or how often
think
would you
ev-
want? Excuse
Every
me,
other would be good.
every other week?
That sounds good.
Yeah, that would be my response, is bi-weekly.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
I think that's good. Just
You don't
because,
want to
it's
drag
fun.
it out.
Okay.
If you made it monthly, you would get an idea 2 days after the class, and then by the time the class came around, you'd forget what you wanted to know.
okay, good point, yeah. So,
Hey, aren't we great?
okay,
True
so
confessions.
is that sort of a consensus, every couple of weeks, we're
Yeah.
looking? Okay, all right, sounds good.
And does Tuesday afternoons work for people? Think about that, time and stuff. Christy will ask you a question about that in the survey. So think about what would work. Hopefully we can get a time that we all agree to.
Any
Maybe.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I have some volunteer work coming up. That's going to be Tuesday, but I don't know if it's morning or afternoon.
okay.
Okay. This is a little bit redundant because we've already covered a little bit, but I was going to ask people if they can identify their device by brand and model. We kind of already did that. It sounds like we got a mix of Macs and iPhones and then PCs. So I don't know if we need to spend too much time on that question.
Well, I think if you have an iPhone 5, it's way different than if you have an iPhone 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I've
Yeah,
got
I
a,
think it's important to know what your own one is and say it when you're asking for help, maybe. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, some of the older things, it's almost getting so you're almost forced to update like about every 4 or 5 years. Otherwise, you're left in the dust in the software department, so yeah.
A lot of people have iPhones. Let's just check which iPhones we have just so we know.
Well,
Okay.
is this an iPhone?
Yep,
Yep. Yeah.
it's got an Apple on it. It is indeed.
When you have
Yep.
an Apple. Yep.
Okay.
That's an iPhone, it's a Mac. So
I have
mine, go ahead, Ed.
Okay, I have an iPhone 6S. That's what I have.
I do too.
I have a 6S.
Do you?
Yeah.
So do I. So 3 of us have 6S's.
I've got an iPhone 10.
10,
Ooh.
okay.
Oh.
I think I have a
Wow.
10, so
What do you
Well-
have, Betty Ann?
iPhone 10, I think.
Okay, we got 2 10s, good.
Delma, does yours have a number on the front
On the back.
or on the back?
No.
I think it's a 5, isn't it? I don't remember.
Well, I can't tell you.
I had my cell phone for 2 years. And if I actually had a group where I was meeting regularly to learn about an iPhone, I might actually buy one. I just have never bought one because it's pretty useless without having a personal tutor.
So you can go to settings, Delma. And that way you can look in settings, but mine's an 11 because, I'm a sucker. And I
Yours is
want to
11.
spend
That-
money.
Whoa, yes, neighbors must be paying you a lot of money, Chrissy.
Dream on. Well,
Yeah.
Delma, I can do that with you. We can look at your
Yeah.
settings and figure out which one yours is later. I'd be
Mhm.
glad to do that with you. Yeah, I can follow up. Either Harry or I.
I'm sick
No.
Okay, but
envious of my 92-year-old mother because right after I got an iPhone 10, my brother got my mother to buy an iPhone 11, so she's got a newer phone than I do. And
Oh,
I'm agreeing with
great.
Great.
Oh my goodness. What is it?
Kathy,
Does you understand?
Kathy, someone who has an
Fine.
Android like yours is Samsung, I think is Deborah Ann. So there's going to be other people who crop up.
But she doesn't,
Yeah.
I don't have a Samsung, remember, it's an LG.
No, that's right.
I
But
think they operate the same way.
they operate the same way though, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right, so we have a kind of a mix of those things. Let's see. All right, let me, now I'm gonna kind of get into a little bit, try to get an idea of what you do right now when you have a problem with your device. How do you solve that problem? Do you go to help in the menu bar?
Call Harry.
Call Harry.
Call
I
Harry.
call Mary Lou.
I call Chrissy.
This is great. Well, we got some good people on here then.
Kathy,
You, Rex.
I used
Rex-
to have the personal phone number of the person who sold me the first regular cell phone like this because she insisted I didn't need a flip phone anymore and that I could do something fancier. She gave me her personal phone, but that was a few years ago and she doesn't need work mobile anymore.
Well,
I usually call my son. He can usually figure it out.
all right, so-
Judy Kelman says that she goes to the Verizon desk at Costco, that the guys there are really nice and they help her with all sorts of problems she has with her phone. So that's
Well,
another.
Actually, I guess I should say that is if it's something like one time, like everything like disappeared off my phone. I don't know what happened. There wasn't any way my son could have figured it out from a distance. Yeah, I just got mad and I got in the car and I drove down to the T-Mobile store that I bought the phone and they fixed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, talking on the phone with people sometimes is like, I don't know enough to really ask the right questions, but if you stick the phone in their face, they'll tell you what you did wrong.
Yeah.
It was some knob got turned somewhere. It was like I think there'd been like an outage or something, and so everything went out, and then I didn't know the technical skills to bring it back. So they got it back for me. So yeah, I just go right down by, it's down by the mall. It's a T-Mobile store, and I just go in there.
Okay, so it sounds like people do one of two things. They either call a friend or a relative or somebody who is smarter than them when it comes to understanding this stuff, or they go down to a local tech shop, either an iPhone store or maybe Costco or Best Buy or someplace like that. Is that
Yeah.
But
shit?
yeah, I go to- go
A lot
to
of times I'll
Lowe's.
just turn my phone off
Mhm.
and wait a couple minutes and turn it back on.
Yep.
And that fixes it.
Oh,
Just tell it to pause.
okay.
Yep.
I
You got
have I do have a question on, and this would not be on an iPhone, but be on more on a computer. How many people, when they encounter a problem, just start hitting the keys on the computer?
Yeah,
A bit.
sometimes,
I start hitting something, but
yeah.
Does that help? Probably not, huh?
Well,
Yeah,
ask how many throw the computer out the window.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Just turn it off.
yeah.
I had a laptop when I first got my diagnosis for type 2 diabetes, and I tried to go online and find the information I wanted. I couldn't find it, and I was so mad. I threw the laptop over the top of my table onto the floor, and I was really disappointed because it did not break.
Whoa, wee, all
Burned
right.
it at all. It just smacked down.
So Kathy has a temper. Was that what you said?
Okay, we got that down.
I kept
Either
getting
that or-
mad.
Either that or must get out.
But I'm a little more sophisticated than that now. And there's also better places to get information than the way I was looking. This is way back in 2014, so. Oh,
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to know how you're going to run these classes is how can we try doing it on our computer if we're on Zoom? That's what I'm worried about.
Okay, well,
it's
so
like your devices, isn't it?
let me take a shot at that. I think what we're hoping is that, for instance, when you get that, some basics, that handout, some basics that talk about the different keys on your computer, Harry put that together. And I think we're thinking that he might be able to share his screen and show you what he's doing on his and use common terminology. But you are going to probably have to do it later because you're on Zoom when you're doing it. And that's one, and so but you'll at least have a resource to back it up. But I don't think does anybody else see a way around that except to
Maybe
do a
you
demo?
could go on Zoom on your phone and be hearing it and be practicing on your computer.
That's an idea. Is that,
You
would that work,
can,
Harry?
I don't see any problem. Of course, I have a 27-inch iMac. I don't see any problem in making this Zoom screen small, moving it to the side and doing my work behind or demonstrating things while on Zoom. I don't see a problem. When you've got a tiny laptop, you want to expand your Zoom window and let it take over the whole screen. I understand that in order to see anybody. So, but with a large desktop, I can move things around and so it depends on what kind of system you've got to make it easy. But either way, you can make a smaller Zoom window than it forces you to make.
Oh, see, we don't know how to do that, but
Well, let's have that as a possible topic.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that easy to do, Harry, on small screens. I agree with you, but we could see.
One of the things is when I'm going to get a big screen Samsung Smart TV about doing Zoom on the big screen and and being at a distance. I'm not going to move things around with my hands, but whether that works on a big screen TV.
So
I
can
don't
you
know.
Zoom on your smart TV is your question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you've got a PC hooked up to it, you certainly can.
well, do you, a PC or I can put apps on it, I think. I'll have the internet hooked up to it.
Yeah, it's possible that there's a Zoom app for those formats. I'm not aware of one, but there may be. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll look
I
into
haven't
that.
found
Let's look into
yet.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's right.
Hi, Donna. Hi, Ysnn. We're glad you joined us, but we don't see you. And join us if you want. Okay. Hi, Donna.
Donna,
Great. Your sound's off, but your picture's there. Great. Okay, good. Okay, we're trying to gather questions and problems people
Yeah, we're
have.
trying to
If you want to,
identify areas where we need to focus our attention in this class. So we're kind of going through a series of questions here and just getting feedback from people right now. So, and basically what we're talking about right now is when you have an issue with your computer device, regardless of what it is, do you know where to go for help? So how about, and as an extension of that question, do people know where to go online for help? In other words, do they know how to go to Apple support, for instance? Or do they know that YouTube is has all kinds of videos that help people do things? Everything from fixing their toilet, to fixing their computer.
Well, Ed, the answer to that is yes and no. Yes, I do know that those things exist. No, I really don't know how to access it.
Okay.
And
so a demo would be helpful.
yeah, and the funny thing is that when I took my RV into this place in California to get work done on, he said, "Oh yeah, I just had a YouTube demonstration on how to fix that issue."
Oh yeah, I know. YouTube has got an amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, every area that you can imagine.
anything.
But
You're
Bob,
actually
look-
that, but
find it, and then my son will just go on YouTube and he looks up a link and he can find the exact same model as mine and how to do it and the whole bit. And so I need more help with that.
Yeah, and sometimes just there was a question earlier about what is a browser, and when we do talk about that, if just in the browser, say for instance Google, if you just do a Google search on a issue like let's just say, okay, how to manage storage on your iPhone, if you just put that into the browser bar, that question, and hit return, you'll get a huge, gigantic list of places to go that might help you. There might be possible resources, but once again,
and it's managing those research results that we really should cover as early on as we possibly can. And I think people would support that, but it's really doing a search and managing the search results. There's some tips and tricks right there at the very beginning that make that a whole lot more fun and easy too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's where I know just enough to be dangerous. Like the stuff that you guys sent out, these questions, I've been using something other than Chrome that they give me a choice of that for Zoom because it seemed to work out better. And so when it gave me two choices for your questions, I used that. My printer didn't understand that. Then finally, I tried a bunch of times. It was just sitting right in front of me, but the word print wasn't, was sitting there, but not dark, so it wouldn't print. And then I finally picked I guess it was the Chrome one. And then evidently my stuff is set up to that because then when it showed up again, it was in print. So the one thing I think I have learned is that sometimes if you play around with some of these different things, you will eventually find something, but not always. So yeah, when to use this browser or that browser and so forth.
Yeah,
And that's very helpful.
Yeah, if you have a Mac, for instance, usually the browser that comes with a Mac is a Safari. It's a Safari browser.
Yeah. You know what? That's the one that works on my iPad for Zoom. That's the word I was looking for, but my printer just didn't want to do that. So when I
Donna
did
has,
the,
excuse me, I'm sorry.
In
Donna has
answer
a question.
To what you
Yeah.
just said, Ed.
Yeah.
I am discovering that Safari, and I don't understand why, is less and less, it's getting weaker and weaker. And I'm having to use Chrome. Safari, I'm finding more and more things, and I don't know why, that Safari will no longer support.
Right, I've understood, I've heard
You
that
find that?
before, and yeah.
I don't get it, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't quite-
interesting.
Yeah,
But
I
do
don't
you
quite
use,
get it either, but
is,
yeah.
is Chrome used on an iPad too? I use
if you
Safari on-
install it,
Yeah,
you have to put it on.
yeah.
Oh.
You just say you want it. It's free.
It's
You just say
Google,
you want it.
it's
It's
Google
Google.
Chrome, right? Google
Right.
Chrome. So basically,
Google Chrome.
Yeah.
if you go to the Google website, and you
Right.
should be able to find Google Chrome, and then you can just download that app, and then you can use
That's right.
Chrome on your iPad or on
That's
your
right.
computer.
If you are a believer that Google is trying to control the world,
You
and
would,
once you
you would
install
use
Chrome, they have got you in their clutches.
Yeah,
Yes.
Which I have
Mozilla
avoided
Firefox.
Google for that reason for a while, and now have no choice because Safari does not support these
No,
things.
there's plenty of other choices. Mozilla Firefox is a really great application for PCs and Macs. I have it on both.
I understand that, but I have things like medical teleconferences that will only work on Chrome.
Oh, interesting.
Is that a
They
fact?
absolutely require you to use Chrome.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's a
And
good,
that's
that's a good
Google's-
trick.
Google's
No wonder
power.
Google's making money.
Yes, big
Yeah.
time, big
Yeah.
time. I realize there are others, but more and more, it's got to be Chrome,
yeah.
Um,
Big tech.
which is not my choice, but it's the way it is.
Well,
Okay.
with Google Chrome, can you still put things onto your favorites on
Oh, yeah.
the iPad?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they have that same kind of
Feature.
system, I think. Uh-huh. Yeah, you can save your favorite sites and all that sort of thing, I think.
yeah, that's another thing I don't know how to do.
But I don't know if you can, if you're asking Rex, can you transition them over? I'm not sure. I think you'd have to go onto your Safari thing, pull up the site and then move it to Chrome. You know, you'd have, isn't
I
that
think you
right?
can do the whole group by sending a file.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I sympathize.
we might
I
be able
had
to help
trouble
with that.
getting Safari to work with my bank site. I had to move to a different browser, move my
Yeah.
bank site over
My
to a different
bank-
browser.
That happened to me too.
Was
Yeah.
it Chase?
Chase will go on Safari,
it's-
Safari, but
it's learning.
TIAA CREF will not
Hmm.
open.
Washington Employees Credit Union, that's my bank, and they work okay with Safari. I don't have any trouble there.
Yeah, my credit union works too. Yeah. Good.
Well, one of the things I'd like to learn how to do, and I probably have the wrong kind of a printer, but supposedly I should be able to hook from my iPad to a printer wirelessly, and I'd like to figure out how to do that.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one,
Yeah,
actually.
it
Good,
is.
but-
The printer would have to be
Yeah, we didn't
adaptable.
mention printers, but
Yeah,
we could talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
well,
my,
that's a whole.
Go out and get a new
thing.
printer to do that
Yeah.
with.
yeah, my, got my printer to do that. It took them three different visits because the iPad still kept thinking it belonged to my husband and it would tell me I didn't belong there or something. He finally convinced him that my husband had passed and that I was this iPad, and now it works.
That's great.
Yeah, the wirelessly, that I think another thing that's a mystery to people is how Bluetooth works.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
and how Wi-Fi works. I think I still have trouble understanding exactly how that works.
Oh,
It
the
works.
different, yeah.
I don't know quite how it works. It's a little bit of a mysterious process for me anyway.
Hmm.
So that could be a subject for a class. We could talk about Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, my car will let me plug phone in on Bluetooth if I knew how to do it. I'm not sure I want it plugged in anyways, but
Can
now-
I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Harry.
Go ahead, Harry.
Oh, Kathy, how would you feel about sharing your experience getting your iPad to talk to your printer with a group over a 5 or 10 minute session? That would be very interesting and
I would
helpful.
more than willing to do that, but that particular topic would have to be conducted by my son because I have absolutely no idea what he did. I mean, I was making spaghetti or something and he was doing that. So,
So you just make spaghetti and invite your son over. That's the answer.
That's how it works.
I could interview him and then tell you. I'd be more than glad to share those things. I'm just saying that I have an awful lot of technology where somebody else set it up and I just use it. And if it breaks, I stop.
He could be a guest presenter.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
he's
he-
more than,
But that'd be fun. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see.
Harry, did you,
boy, but he's a good presenter.
Harry, did you have something else in mind? Where were you going with that? Did you have another
Well,
angle
no,
there? or-
it just seemed like those who know share and those who don't know, learn.
Mhm.
Because honestly, I don't believe I have attempted to do a print from my small iPad called an iPhone. So I haven't done that. I have printed wirelessly recently because I acquired a printer that actually does it. If the thing is sitting there waiting to be talked to, you can generally talk to it.
Mhm.
But we could suss it out, but I don't have an iPad in hand to directly address that issue. So I'm kind of reaching out for other folks to be able to pick that up with the experience that they have.
I do know that on my iPhone, I have printed stuff wirelessly from my iPhone.
Yeah, I know
So
it's
fine.
got to be possible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just tried it and it worked. I didn't set it up. I just tried it and it
Yeah,
worked.
no, it just works.
You got to
Yeah.
find the icon. I mean, it's just a matter of finding
Yeah.
that icon to make it
Mhm.
go.
I haven't done it from my phone, just from my iPad.
Well, yeah, an iPad and an
So-
iPhone basically work the same.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's
An iPad is just a big iPhone.
Android. It's because I have an Android that it doesn't work when you say
Oh.
iPhone.
Well, if you have an Android, okay, you have an Android phone, or you have an iPad and
And
oh,
an
then you have
Android.
an Android
Yeah.
phone. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
still on your iPad, it'd just be a matter of connecting it to the printer.
Yeah, that's what my son,
Yeah, either wirelessly or with a wire, one or the other, and you could do it.
So let me just, it's 3:20. And I was thinking that Harry might kind of try wrapping things up and seeing if there's an obvious topic, but I just want to say something because Harry brought up a really important point. When you see these resource lists that we're sending out and the basics that Harry worked on, and we used some of the definitions from the glossary that's listed on your resource page, we do not pretend we're the be all and end all. If you see something that you can contribute to either of these lists, please let us know. We see them as evolving. We want to include, maybe some computer person we don't that you recommend, but we try to check out all the people on our list are people we've called, and they're people, a number of them who will come to your home. One guy will meet you at Starbucks if you want to meet them there with their computer. Some will come to your home, some won't. And then there are online sites. So, things that you see in these lists could be topics for future sessions. But Harry, why don't you, and you'll get those from Chrissy after the end of this meeting. Chrissy, do you have everybody's email who's on here today?
I was just, I want to make sure I have Weiss and Donna. I know I have Donna.
Good.
I have everybody else.
Betty
Okay.
Ann? Betty Ann?
I have
Yeah.
Betty Ann. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reese's last name is Peelin.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course. Okay.
So Harry, you want to kind of wrap up and see if there's anyone has ideas for next time?
Well, yeah, I think we can take what we've what we've got today, and I've kind of gathered that the folks in this group anyway prefer, rather than doing it from a book or from a website, actually prefer to have to talk to somebody about this, about their problem or their issue or their whatever the path forward is for them. And so that itself is informative. But the point of the whole deal here is really, ultimately we're going to get to this too, but we want to get to the basics first. But the computer is a tool. It's your application. You want to have fun with your applications. You want to be able to make your beautiful pictures more beautiful, your videos. You don't want to do recording of music or birds or, grandchildren or whatever. Edit your podcast. They all have built-in applications for all these things you may want to do. A lot of it's ready to hand, and you just have to be able to navigate to it. This is the key to the whole thing. Is I can see this, coming up, is navigation. Finding how to print from your iPhone is. Since Mary Lou tried it and it worked, I bet it's just an issue of navigation, that it's already connected in the background because everything's on Wi-Fi already and chatting with each other behind our backs. It's a matter of pushing the right button. How do you find the button? That's and so, but we're going to have to keep, you're the guide of what we do next. And I can see it's day-to-day essentials and day-to-day usages that we, the smart TV stuff and how to get to watch a movie and how to do the most basic things is going to be the guide. And I'm still going to try to steer you to go into help menus and websites, because I don't find them cumbersome. I don't find them that awkward to work with, and I find them real helpful. I've got two computers running right now, and I've got a browser open in each, and it has a tab open to a help page. I find it day to day. I need an answer to a question, and sometimes I got to ask the same question again and again because I can't remember the keyboard shortcut that I wanted to remember. So it's just bringing those into your toolbox, I think, is going to be so super handy for you. Why would you want to create an online account at certain sites? Some of them want your information, but some of you want to do it. It's free, and you like YouTube. I can't believe how much fun I can have at YouTube and how many things I can save. And all I have ever done there is put my name and create a password. I have not, of course, they're collecting information from me daily, on what I click, what I like, what I do, where I go. I understand that, but I've never done anything more than a sign in and a password. So some of these sites seem to me to be beneficial and benign. There are some basic
Harry,
applications.
You don't even have to log on and have a password to use YouTube. You can just go there.
No, but you have a lot more fun. You can save the places you've been. You have to look them up again.
Okay, well, we can talk about that.
Yeah, because also without a password, the other day I tried to go onto YouTube and it said to me, oh, it's time to update. And it wouldn't let me go anywhere in YouTube and until they wanted me to type something. I don't remember what it was. So I just turned it off and didn't use it. So that's another thing I have trouble with is, when is Facebook really honestly updating, and when is it some schemer that's trying to get information from you off the Facebook site? It's hard to tell what's the real people and what is some phony.
It's a scam, and we're going to have Mary Lou.
A presentation on scams coming up in a couple weeks, which will supplement this, because I don't think we're going to spend most of our time on that, but it is an issue, Kathy, definitely for a lot of people. You get a message telling you that you have to do something, and you don't know how seriously to take it. And or
And
whether
I-
you can afford to ignore it. That's important.
Yeah, bottom line, if you get an email or something that you've never seen before, or don't recognize where it's from, that's right there a reason to be suspicious.
Oh, no, I do
Elma.
okay on email stuff. I don't answer any of that, but it's
Mhm.
just on Facebook and then just the other day on YouTube, it wanted me to do something I'd never had to do before, so I decided just to turn it off because I didn't trust.
Yeah,
I do want to bring up one more thing because I'm advocating for my father, dad, Mike Schott here. He has macular degeneration. So how do we go forth? And hopefully none of us will have that issue, but a lot of things are voice activated. And I've had to figure out and try to learn a lot of that, how to voice activate our clicker, I call it a clicker,
The mouse.
upstairs for the TV, I'm gonna call it a
Remote.
clicker, but the remote
Remote.
control.
Remote.
Yeah, how to navigate through, so he can keep doing things on his own. And so I'm not the one having to help him with a lot of that.
Well, the Fire Stick is voice activated, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
just,
I don't
helping
use it, but
us too, Alexa, I know helps with that, but even the iPad has some accessibility. There's that accessibility.
Yeah.
So just putting that on our list too, just FYI, because we might have others that will.
Yeah.
That's very important. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so does anybody feel like they see a clear topic for next time, or do you want us to go through and sort through the issues and come up with something based on what we've heard in this session?
I have a.
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would suggest that this terminology, Harry put together that one handout that we have on tech tips, which basically is a list of terminology. Yeah, there we go. A few basics. I would suggest that maybe we spend the next time kind of going down through that list a little bit and just kind of defining terms.
Yeah,
So people are on the same page,
Sounds good.
Because each of those terms kind of opens a little door to a whole set of discussions,
That's right.
and getting familiar with the terminology to me is part of the battle here.
Yeah. If we share that common terminology, we'll probably be able to help each other more.
That's my,
Okay.
anyway, that's a suggested start.
That's a great idea.
Another
Okay, so when you get this from Chrissy in the mail, take a look at it and, look at the resource page too. Think if you have things you would think we should add, but look at the terminology and mark things that are particularly significant to you, because we don't have to start at the beginning. We could, but we can see. But I think that'd be a great next step, Harry, don't you?
Well, yeah, I'd like to try to keep people in the group and interested to address the specific questions about, I don't know how much on iCloud I'm going to cover, but some email ins and outs would really be good. That could be done from the list too, but
okay.
Posting on Facebook, posting anywhere, posting anything, anywhere, anytime. That's sort of an essential move to make. And, if we can, I just want to keep everybody interested for every new session. And
Okay, so let's do some of the terminology and do a couple demos. How about that?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be taping this because unfortunately I have a doctor's appointment at this time slot next week, and you're mentioning an awful lot of topics I'm interested in.
Okay, do people agree we should do that? I mean, we didn't want to, we weren't planning to post this because it's just an informal session, but Chrissy can send it to you, Kathy. Just send you the recording. We'll keep recording it. If anyone misses a session and they want the recording, just tell us and we'll send you the recording, okay?
Or a specific demo or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question here. We had originally set this up that we were going to have 2 back-to-back sessions, 1 week after, this week and then next week, basically identifying problem areas. but it sounds like we're making a kind of leapfrogging over the next session a little bit and actually getting into some the meat of the issue here a little bit. I mean, I guess what I'm asking here is because we had also talked about having these sessions be bi-weekly rather than weekly. So.
Well, Ed, I think my thought was that Harry wants to address a couple of demos so that we begin to see, as Betty Ann asked, how will that actually work for people if we're doing demos? You know, how will that work? But I think going through the terminology is going to bring up more issues that are concerns of people. I don't think it's a change of plans. But then from there on, I'll come up with, starting from the next session, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and we'll set some dates that work for people. I'm kind of hoping Tuesday afternoon will work because it's an afternoon that's available on our Zoom thing. But I suppose another possibility would be Thursday if it really works better for people. So when Chrissy when she sends you the email, she's got a question about that. What works for you? Ed, does it work for you to do Thursdays?
Tuesdays, you mean?
But what if we switch to Thursday? Would that work for you? Or
no,
yeah.
I think that would be fine. Yeah.
How about you, Harry?
Yeah, I'm wide open. I'm always wide open.
Okay, so let's be exploring Tuesday or Thursday. Frankly, I think it'd be work better on Tuesday, but if that doesn't work for people, speak up. But next one will be on the 9th, same time.
Next week.
And you'll get from Chrissy the 2 handouts, plus you'll get a questionnaire to just give us some feedback on this session. Harry, what else?
Well, this is all good. I just have one more question to the group so I could get a head around it. There's 2 ways to get to your Zoom meeting provided in the email that Mary Lou sends us. There's a link that takes you to a browser that opens a browser web page. There's a bunch of terminology all at once that we're already doing to get here. I prefer to open my Zoom application and enter my codes so that I can create this background. So you have to look at my messy bedroom. And of course, there's a way to do that on the web too, I'm sure, but la-da-da. But I just wonder how many of you click that link and just go straight to the Zoom meeting without going to your app, because there's 2 ways to do it.
I do both.
I find
Because
I think Delma, you go right to Delma goes to the link, right? You go to the link.
Sure.
Yeah.
So do I.
I find that sometimes one works and doesn't another time. And sometimes I have to put in the code and sometimes the link works. I don't know what it has to do with, but sometimes I have to try both.
What's your computer?
It's an iMac.
Oh my, yeah.
But
Well,
it's also depends where you live, Harry. I mean, some internet is sketchier in some parts of town
Yeah,
than others.
mine's not sketchy, but
Okay.
sometimes I need to put in the code.
interesting.
I've always gone through the app, through the Zoom app.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's not, there's at least one other person using the Zoom app. Good.
so
And
for
I have used that Zoom app coast to coast. I've been attending my local church as I have traveled from coast to coast this past year, and I've used the Zoom app to attend church that way wherever I've been, wherever I've had a internet access.
Okay. See, on the PC that I'm on here for work, I go through I get on through our account. But to put Dad on the iPad, I put in the meeting ID and passcode. But I can't put a background on this PC because it doesn't have the capability to do it. Otherwise I would have a background. But
So,
I can on
Harry-
the iPad. So that's we're
Harry,
getting
if
off
you-
on a thing.
If you go through your Zoom app, how does that work? You just open your app?
Right. And they ask for
then-
both codes in turn. I have to copy and paste them
Oh.
from the mail.
Okay. Okay. but
I'll try that.
but most people are just hitting the link and going directly into
It's a
the
quicker,
meeting.
it's a quicker way, yeah, and it's easier to do it that way, yeah.
But if you go through the app, you can do more stuff, or you can use the background.
Well, yeah, I think I'm sure I have control over the sizing, and I could do it either way. But again, I feel a little bit more control with the app. I can make this window as tiny as I want, move you guys completely off the screen, and look at my notes and attack one for sharing or whatever. And so, this share screen aspect is going to be the secret for a lot of our demos and things here. And everybody's having fun with their backgrounds now. They're showing off. You
Yeah.
people are all showing off, and
All
I
right,
love
Rex.
that.
Rex,
love
you
it.
turned into a mountain.
I know.
That's terrific.
Oh, that's right.
I
Are
have
those some of your travels?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh,
That's pretty neat. Yeah.
that is amazing. Maybe we'll get a travel log from you before
Oh, my.
these things are over. That'd be
That would
fun.
take a long time,
Yeah.
but yes, I'd be happy.
Maybe that's a Zoom talk
Ooh.
coming up. Yeah.
Betty Ann
yeah.
too. She's hiking and yeah,
We
cool.
went to Colorado.
Nice. Okay.
Oh.
Right on.
Colorado.
That's pretty cool.
Rocky Mountain
Nice.
High. Yeah.
Susie's got something going there too.
That's a Carol Hassan painting. Larry bought.
Cool.
Oh,
that's
neat.
nice.
Nice.
Ah, Great.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Wow, everyone's showing off. I love it.
That's great. That's great. Here, old Pat Muir over here on the bench, the
Oh.
poor guy. He's been there for months and months. He's just miserable. It's terrible.
That's
Ah,
funny.
ah,
That's funny.
that's
Oh,
great.
great.
Really great.
Okay. Good.
So next week we have the next session.
Okay, next session, and we still have some time if people have other issues they want to bring
Yeah.
up, but it sounds to me like we could do some of the basics list. And Harry, you've got an idea of a couple demos, right?
Yeah, and I think following Ed's advice my script is half written already here with these basics. You can go through. There's a lot of unanswered questions in my tips and tricks pages here, so you're not going to see everything you might want. You may be frustrated reading through part. I got some feedback here from a friend here the other day on it, and of course there's unanswered questions. Well, that's kind of by intention. I can't really. I'd rather not explain it. I'd rather show it. And you'll have more questions as it goes through. And it's,
So this is what I think you said. We're going to focus some on email and on posting, and we're going to do some of the list. Okay. And then if some other theme comes up that when we look at the recording and we see something obvious, we'll do that. Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to do the issues on streaming. I think it sounds like we need to have a session
think
on
we do.
streaming, but maybe not right at the beginning.
yeah, I'd
And-
like to add more
I would suggest we take little baby steps,
Yeah.
in the beginning and kind of work into, because each time we're going to have a little better idea of what we want to know out of these meetings,
Great. That's a good idea, Ed.
Get the impression that the way the first email was written, the invitation, that there might be somebody thinking they could come today or next week for an introductory thing. I mean, the
Okay.
way it was phrased, that does imply a little bit that you were sort of surveying for 2 weeks in a row. So I
Okay.
don't know if there's other people who want to come, but I just asked that question.
Well, it's probably safe to assume that as word about this class gets around, our audience will likely grow.
Oh, that's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a very good point.
And we can
Yeah.
send with the announcement next time, we can send out the 2 handouts, Chrissy, along with the announcement, so that if anyone new comes, they'll at least know what we're talking about. Does that sound good?
Yeah, and I would also kind of suggest that, as we move through these classes, and we identify different areas of concern that we want to focus on, is that we maybe develop a sort of library of information. I'm talking about printouts, physical printouts that people can, or at least either print them out on their own printer or we actually email them to people. So basically they can have this stuff on file, this information on file, so they can go back and look at it and read it rather than trying to remember it.
Right.
So, which is I agree, it adds another level of work to generate those handouts, but
That's okay.
it'd be valuable to have, I think.
I do too.
Yeah, you don't want to have to futz with opening a video every time. You want to look at your list. Yeah.
Okay, we'll try to do that. That's a good idea. So start your folder so you know where to keep the things that you're getting. That's good. Okay, any other thoughts before we wrap up?
No, this was great.
This was really interesting. I learned a lot.
I did too. Thanks everybody for identifying issues so well. I mean, we're all in this.
Yeah, I think Harry did a great job of, I think that list of basics that you're going to get is really good.
Helpful. And it might not work exactly on your computer the way he says, so you can bring that up next time and he can help us with that. He tried to do both for PCs and Macs for all of them so that you can see depending on what you're using. Good. All right.
It's got to be valuable.
Great. Okay. Well,
Good show.
expect to get a follow-up email. And thanks, Harry. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Bye, Pasadena.
Bye,
Yeah.
Yeah.
bye, Yakima.
Don't get a
Okay.
sunburn.
So Ed, are you still there, Ed?
I think he signed out.
He signed up. Okay, somehow I think I don't know for sure, but somehow I think I have met or been, somehow I think Ed and I have met before, but I don't know where or when or how. but-
Coffee House Poets.
It's
Well,
what?
he's in part of the Yakima Coffee House Poets, but he was a journalist at the Yakima Herald.
Huh.
And he also taught at the college, taught English at the college for a while.
Oh, did he?
So I'm
Okay.
not sure. There's a bunch of
All
ways
right.
you might have known him. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
find out next time. To be continued.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I'll see you
next week.
tomorrow,
Take care,
Dilma.
everybody.
I hope to see you tomorrow, Dilma.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
All
Bye,
right.
Weez.
Mary Lou, I have a question with you.
Okay. Okay, I'll hang around.
Or we can, I'll call you.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good.